Hello, October, and hello, friends. This is Preetha with 5 Minutes of Authenticity, back with a new set of perspectives around a topic we will discuss this month, and that is growth. Last month, if you remember, we were talking about the falling leaves and how things change, and accepting of all of that leads us from point A to point B. Now, that movement from point A to point B is what in normal life, day and jargon is growth, right? We are all wanting to move, to grow, to be successful in our own ways. And October can be an interesting month of retrospection. One can either get into a space of all that didn't happen in the last 9 months, or one can hope and wish and realize and acknowledge all that one has done in the last 9 months to have grown within. I'm calling this particular episode The Quiet Revolution because that is what growth is. It is not always a huge change, a big bullet in your list of accomplishments, a very big check mark. No, growth is much, much more subtle. And it is only when it's subtle, it's internal. It's only when it is internal that it is sustainable, right? So in motivational theory, in the behavioral sciences, there is a lot of discussion on growth. There is the concept of emotional flexibility is a key component of creating resistance and resilience psychologically, and that improves when we practice letting go of our rigid mindset or beliefs. This was a study done by Kashdan and Rottenberg in 2010. In motivational theory, of course, all through whatever research there is something called the self-determination theory by Deci and Ryan, which highlights autonomy as a core driver of growth. What that means is once you are empowered, once you're autonomous, and once you can let yourself be detached from the external expectations, that is when we can foster authentic motivation, authentic growth. So the point of bringing those two bits of research up is to reinforce one more time that I keep talking about in my little snippets here, is that ultimately the desire and the motivation, the ability and the disposition, all of it towards growth lies within us. It's only a matter of mindset of what we want to be, let's say a stepping stone to grow, or a bridge versus a barrier, right? So on that note, let's start October thinking about this year as you look back. What is a belief or a role or an expectation that is ready to fall like the leaves, right? What is a belief that you have held on to which has held you back from growing, or which has been a barrier in your own growth path? What is a particular role that you're carrying or you're expecting yourself to carry, or the external society, circumstances, situations are imposing upon you to carry that is not really helping you grow? And on the same token, what are some reinforcers that are helping you grow? What are some things that you're doing for yourself that is making it easier for you to move along your path? These 2 months are interesting for me from a cultural perspective as well, because being from India, as you know, we celebrate the mother goddess, divine Durga, in this month. We also celebrate Diwali, the festival of lights, which is a worldwide festival now. And then continuing with the light theme, we have various other festivals that are through November and December, right? And living in the United States, being exposed to so much of cultural diversity around myself, we have our home lit up right from October, because the last 2 months of the year are such a beautiful reminder of how far we have come. and how far we can go if we keep that light on. Keep that light on within us, outside of us, recognize it in others and learn from it, recognize it in ourselves and acknowledge it, give ourselves that affirmation that, guess what? If we have come this far, there are miles ahead which we can traverse. So, friends, we will continue this discussion of growth, but let's start with the premise, given the leaves are still falling and it is the autumn of growth, it is October, that when leaves fall, they don't make a huge noise. They quietly fall. And what does that signify? It signifies that it is okay to let go, only because unless we do, our branches will not open up to new leaves, right? During this time of the year in India, there is a flower called Parijat, which is also my daughter's name. It blooms. It's the most tender, beautiful white bloom with a tiny orange stem. And the only way you can gather some Parijat in a little container is if you shake the tree or if it has fallen gently on the ground. And when you see it fall, usually in the mornings, there's a carpet of these white blooms under this, tall, sturdy tree. And these flowers are used in worship. They're used for decorative purposes. But when they fall, they don't make a sound. But their beauty as they fall and they create this carpet is unimaginable. That is very much like our growth, friends. Whether it's a falling leaf or a tiny flower, growth happens unknowingly, unbeknownst to us, in a quiet manner. And one day we look back and realize how far we've come. Happy October to all of you. I hope this will give you some food for thought to reflect. And we'll come back next time and kind of work through the leaves and flowers and look at growth that can sometimes seem a result of a fog, and what does that fog do to us? It creates uncertainty, it creates confusion, but more about that next time. Right now, enjoy October. Enjoy the realization of how far you've come and how poised you are for the next steps. Until next time, this is Preetha with 5 Minutes of Authenticity. And if you're here for the first time, I welcome you warmly. You can find this podcast anywhere you find your podcasts. And if you're a regular visitor, welcome back. It means a lot to me that you would come back and listen to me again. Have a lovely, lovely rest of the day or night, and I'll talk to you soon.